Hi everybody, welcome to another bite-sized podcast discussion with myself, Kirsty from Lifting Consciousness, and I'm joined by the lovely Amy, also known as Amos because she is a dear friend of mine from Rainbow Healing Services. So for anyone that's not seen our other podcast discussions, Amos, do you want to just give a quick introduction to who you are and what you do?
I certainly will, yes. So I'm Amy from Rainbow Healing Services. I'm providing Reiki healing, Reiki courses, intuitive readings, and also a bit of crystal healing. And it's lovely to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Fabulous, you're welcome. Now, I know when we last got together, we talked about the wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Karmic Destiny, one of the major arcana cards in tarot. And we had a great time because what we did, because we're both intuitive readers, we've got many decks between us. We thought it would be fun to actually show some of our cards because we can intuit different things from our own cards and other people's, can't we? You know, we pick up on things that maybe other people can't see, and they pick up on things that we can't see. So it was a very good discussion. And I think it brought a lot just in terms of the meaning of the Wheel of Destiny as well. So we thought we'd get back together and cover another major arcana card. And I'm very excited about today's one. Don't know about you, Amos?
Yeah, definitely.
So this one is the Lovers. So it's making me smile, actually.
Yeah, me too. And the sun's
yeah.
shining. So yeah, what's not to like?
So it's a beautiful card within the major arcana set of tarot, and it is what it says on the tin, the Lovers. So it symbolizes romantic relationships, romantic connections. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are, Amos, but certainly if it comes out in a spread for me, if I'm doing a reading for someone and it comes out in a spread that there's no other romantic cards, it can also mean something else. It can also mean a choice. But if the spread has got, say, the Two of Cups and it's got other cups energy, then that would kind of confirm to me that it is a romantic situation going on. And of course, even if it is a choice, that could still relate to a romantic connection. It depends on the individual. So that's how we intuit things, isn't it? It very much depends on the energy that's there at the time. But another card we will talk about is the Two of Cups, which is what I feel is the minor arcana equivalent of the Lovers, maybe, because it is that soulmate card. We've got other soulmate cards like the Six of Cups can represent a past life connection. So if you've got all of those in a spread, wow, that's definitely strong soulmate energy. But we'll start with the Lovers. So what we've done, like last time with the wheel, we've got some cards from our own decks that we've chosen, and we will sort of hold them up to the screen and we will kind of discuss them. And anyone that's viewing, if you've got any other comments or you glean anything else from these cards, then please drop us a comment, because as we say, it's going to resonate with you in a different way to us potentially. So I'm going to get this started, and using my favorite deck, no surprise to Amos, which is the Lightsaber tarot deck. Yeah. Beautiful deck because of the artwork and the vibrancy and the messages that comes through. But the Lovers card in this deck is this. Now, what I love about this card is that there is magnetism. Because they're embracing and her hair is flowing in an upwards direction to meet his, but also they're holding each other. There is that magnetic energy that I take from that. And also they're visibly different, but they are one, which I think is very important, isn't it, when we talk about our own unique identities, but coming together as one. So there's also Cupid's bow and arrow on her shoulder. And there's another symbol, which I had to look up about this, because on her back, I don't know if you can see that, there's like a white symbol.
Oh, just about. Yeah.
I had to, because I've seen that before, and it's actually on the Three of Cups.
Oh, interesting.
So
I've spotted that before.
Yeah, so I don't know what it means. I mean, anyone viewing, if you know what that symbol actually means, that would be interesting to know. But certainly it carries forward that sense, but it's also in the Hierophant card, which comes before the Lovers in this deck. So again, it's relating to this deck. It's not going to be the same in every deck. But I also see the Passion because of the red as well. So I don't know what you feel from this, Amos, if you get any other vibes
Passion
from it.
Was what came through to me, definitely.
Yeah.
But also it's the way she's sort of touching his heart. So it really feels like that heart-to-heart connection, and they're kind of, you know, looking to each other's eyes, and it's like they're overcome, but it's just them in that moment. So I love it. There's a lot that card really speaks to you, doesn't it? It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love it, and it is my favorite one of the ones that we're showing today. So yeah, if you want to go for your first one, I'm excited to see what you've chosen.
Okay, so the first one I've chosen is probably not too surprising. I hope you can see that okay.
Yes.
From the Spirit Song Tarot, which is my favourite one of the moment. This one's slightly different because it's not actually the Lovers, it's just love. So they've depicted it quite differently. And the words on the bottom are choice and trust. Now, obviously, we've talked about the choice that can come up. So obviously, if this one came out in a reading, that would be quite sort of key for that person. And I do feel very much it is about kind of trusting in the flow and in the process, particularly in more kind of soul level connections, that, you know, you'll come together at the right time. But also, trust in yourself as well. Trust in yourself that you're kind of on the right path, and that there will always be choices that are presented to us. So it's very much more of that one about love as a whole, I feel. Bless you. Very much about that, rather than a kind of lovers connection, but about love in general, I feel, with that one.
It is, yeah. And what I sort of noticed from it is the fact that, you know, the two of them are together, and they're almost in unison, because I know they're doing some poses, but there is that element of the two are together almost side by side on their quest, but they don't have to like that
together.
Kind of, you know, so that's quite significant as well. Beautiful card. And I do like that deck as well of yours because of the animal symbolism as well.
Definitely.
Brilliant. So we also know, of course, and should have mentioned this at the beginning, that this card is Gemini energy, and Gemini is obviously air energy, but Gemini represents the twins, the pillars, if you like, and we can't say that without thinking about twin souls, I guess. So it's very, again, significant as to why the Lovers represents that romantic connection. Now, of course, we can have soul connections with many people. You know, we've got a soul connection. I've got a soul connection with my parents' dog. You know, we've got soul connections all around us. But the romantic connections are they're on a different level, aren't they, I suppose? But still soul connection. But the twin nature, and I guess just to get your feeling on this, really, because I feel you can have a significant soulmate connection with somebody who doesn't necessarily have to be known as your twin soul or twin flame in a romantic situation. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
It might not be as strong.
But it's still there, and it's still valid nonetheless.
It's still valid, yes. And it can still be strong. It can still be powerful, because I feel that it's almost where we are as individuals and who we're aligning with at that time, and the soul connections, they're still mirrors, aren't they? They're still that twin soul, I feel. But it's that, if people believe in the twin flame concept, because some people do, some people don't, but it is that sort of sense of a sort of higher divine connection, that's a bit different, but there's still strength, I guess, in what I'm saying with romantic connections that are divine soul connections, not the karmic soul connections, not to confuse it with karmic ones, because we know that they teach us lessons that we need to learn. So I wouldn't necessarily think that unless it came out with the devil card, would relate to a karmic situation as an example. But again, that just goes to show it depends on the reading, doesn't it? And it depends on what other energies come up at that point. So yeah, just wanted to say that. And also it's card number 6. So for me, it does make me think of balance and reciprocity in that way, just like the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know why my mind goes to that when I think of it, but the 6, it is my life path number as well. So maybe that's why I'm thinking it's significant, but it does make me feel of that sort of equal balance, which certainly that card, but also in your card there is that kind of equal balance as well.
Quality.
So moving on to another one. Now this is a new deck that I got, which is the Gilded Tarot Royale, and it is beautiful, but I'm still more connected to the Lightseers Tarot, but it is still beautiful. And this is the Lover's card in the Gilded Royale, if you can see that.
It's the light at the top. It's like, very bright.
Now, I don't know what vibes you get from this, because the gold stood out to me as being quite regal in nature and it's a powerful connection because of the gold. But also there's sort of Roman warrior vibes going on. But what I also see, because he is actually more how can I describe it? I mean, it's like he's there, but he's not really there.
It's almost like to me it looks a bit damsel in distress, like, you know, rescue me kind of thing. That's how that one feels to me, very much. Which
of course is not necessarily a healthy connection, is it? Because wanting somebody and needing somebody are two very different things. And needing somebody for kind of support is one thing, but codependency is another. I guess, to explain that one. But yeah, she does, doesn't she? She does. But we've got the 2 pillars there. We have got the 2 pillars that are represented, which isn't in the other deck. And I know in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, I don't know if that's one that you've chosen.
I haven't. No, mixing it up.
So traditional Rider-Waite, it has obviously got the pillars as well. But yeah, I mean, it's still a beautiful card. There's the water there, so the emotion as well. But it made me feel, because he is a bit translucent, that kind of sense of, even through separation, that they're still there.
They're still together. The souls are still united.
Definitely. That's a key thing with that one, I think. And yes, as you pointed out, the light. So that kind of
bright
light with the connection as well in that sense. And also just to point out as well, because obviously on these cards, it's masculine and feminine that are on the majority of these cards. I haven't seen one that doesn't have that on, but there might be decks out there that do that. And of course, that represents the energy. So there could be people watching that, you know, are in same-sex relationships, and that's still valid, because this is the energy we're talking about. So as we're talking about the man and the woman on the card, please just note we're talking about the energy. So just important to say that. Don't know about your second card, Amos?
So what I've gone with for this one is the Fairy Tarot.
Oh, okay.
So that one's much more what I would say conventional lovers. So there's words on the bottom: true love that is long lasting, which is obviously what you'd hope for, particularly with the soul level connection. Choices, again, choices made from the heart. So very much being heart centered rather than choosing from the ego or from the mind. And also with this one, it says a return to good health, which to me makes me think of marriage, because this one obviously looks very much like sacred union, marriage. And there's the whole in sickness and in health, and kind of being there for that person no matter what. So in the good times and the bad. So that one kind of, and again, it's very divine. It's very divinely guided. I feel with the kind of, I don't know where you can see that.
It is, yeah, I can see it. And also what I can see, even though I can see that we've got the couple there, and we've got, if that's the priest, if that's God, if that's an archangel in the background, whoever it might be. But it also, when you look at it, it almost looks like that light's coming down. So I can see like a triangle, but also it makes it look like they're part of a big dress that
Yeah.
higher up person's wearing. So that to me would solidify that feeling of being united, because they are part of the same thing. And I don't know if that's flowers that's kind of and also the light that's coming from their hands being joined together.
Definitely. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a lot, just lovely energy in that. And I guess if that one were to come out in a reading, you'd think, well, that's a really positive sign for, you know, that person and the relationship that they're either in or are about to embark on. I would say that was a really, really good positive sign, that one.
Definitely. And that the choice element in terms of commitment also, like I'm choosing to commit
to
and
be with you no matter what. Beautiful.
That is very beautiful. So without further ado, I know it's a phrase that you use a lot. It is. Now I don't think there's anybody that I need to censor this for, but this is my third Lovers card, and this comes from the Druid Craft Tarot deck. And the couple on this card are naked, hence why I said about the censorship. But bearing in mind that this is part of nature, so there's beauty in nature, and I'm just going to show it.
Oh, saucy.
So, you know, we've got, I mean, it's difficult as to what you can see, but they're clearly naked. They're obviously embracing, probably doing a lot more than that. But we've also got this animal who I think is a deer, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like a deer, doesn't it? Yeah.
Kind of moving on. And then here we've got like this little kind of waterfall thing, the water feature.
It looks very sacred. It looks like a wow, kind of.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? And it just kind of, for me, I mean, I like it because it's that reminder of going back to nature in terms of that connection, and in terms of being as one with yourself, with the person you're with, and having that connection as two parts of creation. I don't know if you've got any other vibes on that.
I have, really. To me, that's very back to basics, obviously, because they are naked. It's almost kind of, you know, like naturism, isn't it, really, when people are naturists and they're kind of at one with nature and all that kind of thing. It brings about a sort of sense of community and love, sort of in its simplest form, without any materialism, just really kind of back to basics and just enjoying each other no matter what.
Enjoying each other, absolutely. And they are enjoying
aren't they?
But it is, isn't it? It is that simple act. And exactly like you said, when you said it, it was like, the materialism does not matter when you are united in that way. What is, you know, do you care if he drives a fast car or
no, it doesn't matter, does it? Because they're just so kind of doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean anything, does it, when you're together that way? So that's a very naughty way of showing that, but actually it's not naughty, it is sacred. I like that word for it, because ultimately, yes, within those romantic connections and having that closeness with another soul that you are connected to in whatever way that is, but that does bring it back to basics. So, you know, we've got that nature, we've got the sacred connection, we've got the magnetism and the romance and the passion, and also we have got the emotion in this one, but to not be as codependent, I guess, is what came from that one, isn't it? What's your third Lovers card, Amy?
Well, I guess it's similar to yours. So I've chosen this one from the Pagan Ways Tarot.
Oh, how interesting.
So we've gone with a similar theme there. Now that one to me is very similar to what you've chosen, because they're very much kind of in nature. There's passion there, you know, they're enjoying each other. It feels very similar to the card you've chosen. The energy feels very much the same.
It does. And you know what, this one hit me because of a meditation visual. Because it was a very pagan kind of nature aspect. I mean, so that's actually beautiful to see that, because I've not seen that card before. I don't think I have anyway, or it's not.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Because it really, to
very,
me, I can really see that the colours are very strong on the screen to me. So
very strong
green.
With the green, yes.
Yeah.
Now, has she got like dark hair, or is it like red slightly?
Red hair, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So again,
yeah.
passion, isn't it? Kind of that
Very
feeling
much.
of passion and fire, and
very much.
I love it.
The green with the heart chakra, which is of course in nature as well, as is in that one. So it's amazing that our third cards actually kind of
they kind of mirrored, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I love it. Now, of course, we're interested to know what you think, and you might have decks, anyone watching, you might have decks that have different depictions, and you glean something else from it. Now, in terms of the minor arcana version that we mentioned earlier, which is the Two of Cups, which is that soulmate connection. And again, depending on what other cards it comes out with, it could represent just a kindred soul connection with friends, family, loved ones, etc. But it is also soulmate in terms of romantic connections. So let's see what we have. Now, again, Lightseer's Tarot deck. So bearing in mind, this was my lover's card.
Yeah.
From that deck. I love this card.
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
This card to me, I've actually just seen something else in it, just as I'm which I'll have to tell you about after. But yeah, I've just seen something else in it, another symbolic thing. But certainly here, again, we've got the differences, the visible differences in these two, and they've got their hands joined. So you think of that hand fasting as well, but just that joining together of hands. And all these beautiful, beautiful colors and the two cups. So the reminder that it's two people coming together. There's a blended energy, so much color and vibrancy. Just as an email notification comes up.
That's funny.
On my screen. But yeah, a blending together. And when I looked at it again this morning, I thought, is the color coming from their hands down into the cups, or is it actually from the cups going up into their hands to blend them together, or is it a mix of both?
It's
an
interesting one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
beautiful.
And I also see
someone else agrees.
Bless, a little guest star in the podcast today who wants to have a say.
Who wants to make an appearance. And it's just as well we haven't got smell-o-vision. We'll just add that one in there.
Oh, bless, yes. So also what I kind of see is almost like a scales again. So that balance comes through for me, just because of the, but it was the color. It's the color that I love on this card.
Beautiful. So gorgeous. It is like just a rainbow, isn't it? It's a multitude of just.
It is a rainbow, and on the gilded tarot one, there's a rainbow on that as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
And obviously that's going to be a different imagery. I mean, they're very much looking. They're almost a bit of a stare off, but the blue comes through on that one.
Yes, the communication. Yeah.
So they are different, and this is why. So again, as intuitive readers, this is why we love using a variety of divination tools, because we're drawn to certain decks to use for certain readings, aren't we? And I think that's because we know, our soul knows, that our intuition is going to pick up on certain things for that person. So it's very relevant because we can glean a lot from the imagery on the cards. I will just show you this before, just seeing if you're cradling or your little loved one there. So we've got Two of Cups in the Druidcraft Tarot. So that's very different. But also, we've got the green. And we've got blue there as well. Yes.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's gorgeous. Again, very, very earthly, isn't it? Very kind of
very earthly.
Back to basics. Yeah. Yes. I like it.
And that coming together, the shared act of that. And of course, you know, twos can mean a choice as well, can't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, it can represent that. So again, it depends on what other cards come out. Now, I'm keen to see what Two of Cups you might have there, Amos.
Well, yes, this is my one and only Two of Cups. So I've chosen from the Pagan Ways Tarot again, because this was my favourite one. Look at that green.
Yeah, there is an abundance of green. Yeah,
everywhere, isn't it? And it's so, to me, again, it's kind of, it's back to nature, but there's friendship in that one to me as well, because they're smiling and they're laughing. You know, you agree as well, don't you, buddy? Yeah. It's all about love, friendship, laughter, and everything that a loving relationship should be. So I just think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And of course it says union on the bottom, doesn't it?
It does. So what's not to like about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, yes, I mean, union, reunions, separation, and all of that can come into play also when we're doing these readings and what we can depict from the cards. And there was something
the lion as well. I don't know if you can see. Just noticed that. Never seen that before.
There you go. You see, this is the beauty of it, because we do, we see things all the time, which is great. Now, I did, this is actually a book that Amos loaned me, Crescendo, by Amy Weiss. I think
that's how you say it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, which, you know, taking the opportunity this week to read it finally, and it is full of things that we can relate to, just spirituality wise, I feel, from it, but also because of the love connection that's mentioned in there. But one of the things she says, and I had to write it down, this is why separation can feel seismic. Now that to me really kind of struck, because it was like, yeah, because actually, and when you think of certainly the strong divine connections or the twin souls, however people want to relate to it, and you think of that separation aspect, and it can be quite a seismic impact, can't it, on the individual, or on both parties. So I don't know if that brings up anything for you, Amos, or any interpretation in relation to that.
100%. Well, you know, as you know, I can totally relate to that. That definitely, I really felt the power of that when you said the words, because obviously I read the book a long time ago. I remembered when I read it, it was very powerful to me at that point. So I probably could do with rereading it again at some point. But yeah, I would 100% agree with that, in that that's how it feels. It does kind of, well, it changes your life, but it changes it in a really good way. You know, and obviously my life not taken a different course, but you know, things have slightly changed for me, obviously. But you know, obviously I wouldn't have things any other way with how things are now, but it is life changing, and can completely relate to that.
No, absolutely, and it mentions about the power of connection, really, all throughout the book. That's the vibe that I get, the power of connection. I won't give it away to anyone that's not read it, but I would recommend it, because it's that power of knowing that even, you know, when you're with that person, it's one thing, but when you're without that person, the things that you can hold on to and the signs that you see everywhere, and just all of that comes from that. So I think the Lovers in itself is very, very powerful energy, and it is that, I mean, the magnetism aspect. Would you say, in your opinion, that magnetism can only come from the strongest of connections? I know we kind of briefly touched on it earlier, but you know, do you think there's magnetism in a variety of levels, I suppose?
Yeah, there's nothing touches that level of magnetism and that level of connection. And yeah, it's definitely something that I miss. Because nothing really sort of comes close to it. Yeah, but yeah, that's probably all I'll say on that.
No, absolutely. But I think that there is that kind of you know, we are obviously pulled into soul connections, aren't we, that are maybe different from the strong, use that term, the true fine partnerships. and they can offer us a lot. They can offer us a lot, can't they? But yes, totally the feeling, and even on an energetic level, being able to discern the difference, which I know is something that I've had to work through, as you know. It can be quite challenging because there's little tests every now and then, but yeah, staying true to you, isn't it? That's a big part of it, I think. And navigating the course of life, which is something that we need to do in this 3D reality.
We do, and I do feel, I will say I do feel very lucky and blessed, obviously, in my current situation, knowing that things evolve and change all the time. Who knows what's around the corner in the future, because what's meant for us isn't going to pass us by, is it? So what's divinely intended will come back when we're in alignment with it. So
absolutely, I couldn't agree more. That's very powerful, and it's very powerful to remember, exactly like you said, about evolution. Everything is always moving. We're always moving, even if we don't feel like we are, but we always are. And we know time's an illusion.
Yes.
And as we've said before, we picked up on another podcast discussion, but I want to wrap this up just by finally showing you, to get your interpretation on it. Now, after the Lover's card in tarot, which is Gemini energy, we move on to the Chariot, which is Cancerian energy, and it's card number 7, so divinely guided as well. But the Chariot, so when you think of that lover situation, and what I'm drawn to is clearly the black and the white. So divine masculine, divine feminine. But it's very, it's positive movement forward, isn't it?
Yeah, you're on a journey together, and it's almost kind of like going back to this one, isn't it? You're on a journey together, but it may be just that you're kind of running concurrently rather than actually being together in union.
Yes.
Your energies are drawing closer all the time. It's progress. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just that kind of need, in whatever way it's depicted, we've always got the two. We've always got two that's helping to pull that mode of transport forward.
Yes.
It's always helping, but that balance is always same direction. Yeah. Same direction, but don't have to be like that all the time.
Exactly.
Same direction in the path. So yeah, that was good to talk about today. Amos, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My ears ringing a bit now.
Oh, there we are. Something coming through.
Yes, but it's very, very, very good. And I was really excited to cover it. And I know, and I'm sure you can feel it, that there's so many other things we could say about this topic.
Yes.
Which is, it's one of those things. And a lot of people it's going to resonate with, because love is part of everyone's life. And we are all made of love. But love is very important. The connections we have with people are important. So I'm hoping that a lot of people will see this. And I'd be really interested, for people to comment on what you think the Lover's card means to you, how you might interpret the cards that we've shown, but also any other cards that you have. Join the discussion, and then who knows, we might be able to come back and do a part 2 of it, and even cover questions, if anyone's got any questions. And if you want to check out our previous podcast discussions that we've done on other spirituality topics, like the ego, we've covered as well, haven't we? Then I'll put the links in the description box. I'll put it on social media as well. Check those out, and if you've got any questions or any topics, let us know, and we'll come together and do this again. And I feel like it might be good to do another card at some point, because
phone's ringing.
Oh, the phone's ringing, right? So we're going to wrap it up then. Thank you so much, Amos, and see you everybody. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.